I want to start by telling you a little bit more about who I am because it explains how I teach, why I teach what I teach, and why I don't rush business owners into advanced strategies before the foundation is ready. Now, my name is LaShonya N, and I'm the founder of Diamond Tax Solutions, Inc. And as of 2026, I have over 35 years of documented tax industry experience. Now, when I say 35 years, I'm not saying that loosely. I have the receipts. Before Diamond Tax Solutions was ever founded, I spent 21 years working under one of the major national brands. I served clients, I managed offices, I worked through many tax seasons. I saw families and employees, small business owners, side hustlers, entrepreneurs, and people who simply needed someone to help them make sense of their tax situation. Now, that kind of experience teaches you things that a textbook cannot teach you by itself. It teaches you patterns. It teaches you where people get confused, and that happens a lot. It teaches you what gets overlooked. It teaches you the difference between someone who needs a tax return filed and someone who needs structure. Now, then on July 1st of 2013, Diamond Tax Solutions was founded. As of 2026, this firm has served for more than 13 years, over 9,500 clients, over 14 million in savings and counting. So when I talk tax strategy, business structure, documentation, compliance, and long-term planning, I'm not speaking from theory. I'm speaking from someone that has more than 3 decades inside this industry, including 21 years under a major brand and more than 13 years leading my own firm. Now, my exposure to tax work started even earlier, but publicly I stand on those documented years, and those documented years are enough. They tell the story. And this year, the 2026 Indiana Black Expo confirmed something I've been hearing and seeing for years. People need help. Not in a vague way, not in a casual way. Person after person walked up to me and they said some version of the same thing. I need help. I need help with my small business. I need help with my taxes. I need help with understanding what I should have done. I need help figuring out what to even do next. Now, when you hear that enough times, you realize that this is not just about tax forms. This is not just about whether someone filed on time. This is about business owners trying to build something, but not always having the structure, guidance, or understanding they need underneath it. Now, that's why this message matters to me, because I'm not teaching foundation first because it sounds nice. I am teaching foundation first because people are asking for help, and many of them need to understand the basics before the advanced strategies will truly serve them. So now there's another part of my story that matters too. I have always been a teacher at heart. Before some people ever knew me as a tax strategist or founder, I had experience teaching. Now, I taught all ages. I've held babies in the nursery. I've worked with children at all different ages and stages. I've even taught students all the way up to the 12th grade, students who were ready to graduate and step into their next phase of their lives. Now, if you ask me, though, what was my favorite grade to teach, I will tell you without hesitation and without a doubt, 2nd grade. You may ask, 2nd grade? Why 2nd grade? Well, let me tell you. 2nd grade was special to me because it was the grade, it was foundational. 2nd grade was foundational. Now, that was the grade where the students were learning how to read with more confidence. They were learning how to write. And back then they were writing in cursive. They were learning arithmetic. They were learning how to follow instructions, how to ask questions, process information, and believe that they could understand what was being taught. And at that age, they still trusted the teacher. A 2nd grader will look at their teacher like you're the best thing next to God. Now, sometimes your word as the teacher even would override what their parents would say at home. A parent could tell them one thing, how to do the math one way, but if the teacher said it another way, that child might come home and say, well, my teacher said. Now, I used to love that age because they were still open. They were still forming. They were still building habits. Now, they were learning how to trust instruction. So if you taught them well at that stage, you gave them something solid to stand on as they move forward. Now, that's how I see business education. That's how I see tax education. And that is how I see the work I do with business owners through Diamond Tax Solutions and the Diamond Protocol. Now, everybody wants to get to the advanced strategies. We want to move on to the hard stuff. They want to talk about what? Cost segregation, talk about accountable plans. They want to talk about the Augusta rule, all these different strategies. They want to even talk about entity planning, S corporations, deductions, write-offs, and how to reduce taxes. Listen, let me be very clear. These are valid conversations, okay? Those strategies matter, not discounting them at all. And I am qualified to teach them. I understand them. I know when they can be useful, but what I will not do or pretend is that advanced strategies can fix a weak foundation, because it can't. Advanced strategy does not replace clean books. Advanced strategy does not replace documentation. Advanced strategy does not correct a business that has no separation between personal and business finances. Advanced strategy does not fix a business owner who does not know the business, what the business actually made, what it kept, what stage it's really in. So that's why I teach foundation first. So before we talk about strategy or what strategy may apply, we need to know whether the business is ready to support that strategy. Do you have the right structure? Are your books organized? Are your expenses documented? Now, do you even understand what is personal and what is business? And I don't say that in a demeaning way. Do you know whether your business is still at the basic setup stage, the growth stage, or the strategic planning stage? Because those things matter. And for many business owners, the issue is not whether they need a complicated tax move first. The issue is that the foundation is not clear. Now, you may have an LLC, but no operating discipline. You may have revenue, but no clean financial records. You may have expenses, but no documentation of those expenses. You may have ambition, but no structure. Now, you can have a logo, a website, a social media presence, but still no organized financial foundation beneath the business. And when that happens, the advanced strategies become harder to apply correctly. So now that's why the Diamond Protocol starts where it starts. It's not about chasing tax ideas from social media. It's not about copying what someone else did or said that worked for their business. It's not about chasing advanced terms before the foundation is ready. So listen, it is about helping business owners being in the proper order. Foundation first, then strategy, then long-term management. And guess what? Then comes legacy. Now, a business that is not organized cannot be fully protected. And a business owner who does not understand their own foundation may not realize where their exposure is. So that's the same reason second grade matters so much to me. Second grade may not sound advanced. It may not sound impressive or sexy, as we like to say. But if a child does not learn how to read, write, and work with numbers, it will show up later. Maybe not immediately, but eventually the gap appears. So business works the same way. If the foundation is weak, the cracks may not show up in the beginning, but they will show up.